If you're over 60, there's a good chance you've never thought twice about what you eat right before bed. Maybe it's a habit, maybe it's just something small to satisfy a craving before you turn off the lights. But what if one simple food, eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong way, could be working against two of the hardest working organs in your body? And what if a different, surprisingly ordinary fruit might actually be doing them a favor while you sleep? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which fruit we're talking about, why timing matters more than most people realize, and the one mistake that could undo all the benefits. Let's talk for a moment about why this even matters. Your kidneys are two small, bean-shaped organs, roughly the size of your fist, sitting just below your rib cage on either side of your spine. Most people don't think about them until something goes wrong. But every single day, your kidneys filter about half a cup of blood every minute, removing waste, balancing fluids, and helping control blood pressure. As we get older, kidney function naturally starts to decline, even in people who feel perfectly healthy. That's part of why kidney concerns tend to show up more often after 60, and why so many doctors now emphasize prevention rather than waiting for a problem to appear. Here's the tricky part. Kidneys are quiet organs. They don't always send loud warning signals. Many people don't realize their kidney function has changed until a routine blood test picks it up. That's exactly why small, everyday choices, the kind most of us never think twice about, can matter so much over the years. And nighttime nutrition is one of those overlooked pieces of the puzzle. Think about your evening routine for a second. After dinner, your body starts winding down, digestion slows, your kidneys, along with the rest of your systems, shift into more of a maintenance mode overnight, doing repair work while you sleep. What you eat in those last couple of hours before bed can either support that process or add extra strain to it. This is why some doctors and dietitians who specialize in kidney health pay close attention not just to what patients eat, but when they eat it. Now here's where it gets interesting. A lot of people assume all fruit is automatically kidney friendly because fruit is generally seen as healthy. That's not quite the full picture. Some fruits are high in potassium, and while potassium is an essential mineral for most healthy adults, people with certain kidney conditions need to be more careful with how much they consume, since kidneys that aren't filtering as efficiently can struggle to clear excess potassium from the blood. This is one of those areas where a blanket rule doesn't apply to everyone the same way, and it's part of why we're going to walk through this carefully instead of giving you a one-size-fits-all answer. So which fruit are we talking about? For most adults looking to support general kidney health as part of a balanced evening routine, berries, particularly blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries, tend to stand out. Here's why. Berries are naturally lower in potassium compared to fruits like bananas, oranges, or avocados, which makes them a gentler option for people who are watching their mineral intake. At the same time, berries are rich in antioxidants, particularly a group of compounds called anthocyanins, which give berries their deep red, blue, and purple colors. Let's pause on that word for a second because I promised we'd keep things simple. Antioxidants are compounds that help protect your cells from a kind of everyday wear and tear called oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress like rust slowly forming on metal over time. It's a natural process, but too much of it can accelerate aging in your tissues, including the delicate filtering structures inside your kidneys. Research has increasingly pointed to antioxidant-rich foods as a helpful part of a kidney-supportive diet, though it's important to be clear that no single food acts as a cure or a guarantee against kidney disease. Diet is one piece of a much bigger picture that includes hydration, blood pressure management, blood sugar control, and regular checkups with your doctor. Here's a real-life kind of scenario that might sound familiar. Picture a woman named Carol, 68 years old, who's always had a habit of eating a bowl of ice cream or a few crackers before bed, just out of routine, not really out of hunger. After talking with her doctor about ways to support her kidney health as she got older, she started swapping that nightly snack for a small bowl of fresh or frozen berries instead. She didn't change anything else dramatically. It was a small, manageable shift. Over time, that kind of small, consistent choice can add up in ways that matter, especially when it replaces less kidney-friendly late-night habits like salty snacks, which can affect blood pressure, or sugary desserts, which can affect blood sugar levels overnight. That brings us us to an important curiosity point because there's a common mistake a lot of people make with berries, and it might surprise you. We'll get into exactly what that mistake is in just a moment, right after we talk about why nighttime specifically seems to matter. During sleep, your blood pressure naturally dips, a pattern doctors sometimes call nocturnal dipping. This nightly dip is part of a healthy cardiovascular rhythm, and interestingly, kidney health and blood pressure are deeply connected since your kidneys play a major role in regulating blood pressure through fluid balance. Eating something heavy, salty, or sugar-loaded right before bed can interfere with that natural nighttime dip, potentially putting extra strain on both your heart and your kidneys while you sleep. This is one reason some kidney specialists suggest that a lighter, lower sodium, lower sugar option in the evening, like a small serving of berries, may be a gentler choice compared to typical late-night snacks. There's another angle here too, and it has to do with hydration. Berries have a naturally high water content, which can contribute in a small way to your evening hydration without the need for large amounts of fluid right before bed, which many older adults try to avoid since it can disrupt sleep with nighttime bathroom trips. So you get a bit of hydration support, a dose of antioxidants, and a naturally sweet way to satisfy a craving, all without the potassium load of some other fruits or the sodium and sugar spikes of typical snack foods. Now, let's circle back to that common mistake I mentioned earlier, because this is the part a lot of people get wrong. Many people assume that if a small serving of berries is good, then a large bowl must be even better. But portion size still matters here. Even lower potassium fruits contribute to your overall daily mineral and sugar intake, and eating a very large portion late at night can still affect blood sugar levels, especially in people managing diabetes or prediabetes, which is common among adults over 60. A reasonable serving is usually around half a cup to 3/4 of a cup, roughly a small handful, not an overflowing bowl. The goal here isn't to encourage unlimited fruit consumption. It's about a mindful, moderate choice that fits into an overall pattern of eating that supports your kidneys rather than working against them. Another mistake worth mentioning involves toppings. It's easy to turn a bowl of berries into something quite different by adding whipped cream, sweetened yogurt, or a drizzle of syrup. Suddenly, that gentle, kidney-friendly snack has extra sugar and sodium mixed in, which can cancel out much of the benefit. If you want to add something, a small amount of plain yogurt or a sprinkle of unsalted nuts, in moderation tends to be a better companion than sugary or salty additions. Let's take a step back and talk about the bigger picture, because berries alone aren't a magic fix, and no honest health educator would ever tell you they are. Supporting kidney health as you age really comes down to a handful of consistent habits working together. Staying well hydrated throughout the day, not just at night, helps your kidneys flush out waste more effectively. Keeping sodium intake in check supports healthy blood pressure, which protects the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys. Managing blood sugar, especially if you have diabetes or prediabetes, protects those same delicate structures from long-term damage. And staying physically active, even something as simple as a daily walk, supports healthy circulation, which your kidneys depend on. This is also a good moment to talk about warning signs, because prevention only works if you know what to watch for. Some symptoms that are sometimes associated with changes in kidney function include unusual fatigue, swelling in the ankles, feet, or hands, changes in urination frequency or appearance, persistent lower back discomfort near the kidneys, and unexplained changes in appetite. It's important to understand that these symptoms can be caused by many different things, some far more common and far less serious than kidney issues. The point isn't to alarm you, it's to encourage you to pay attention to your body and to bring up any persistent or concerning symptoms with your doctor rather than guessing or waiting to see if they go away on their own. Routine blood and urine tests are also a simple, reliable way to keep track of kidney function over time, especially for adults over 50, and especially if you have risk factors like diabetes, high blood pressure, or a family history of kidney disease. Let's bring this back to something practical you can start tonight if you'd like to. If you're looking for a simple evening habit that may support your kidney health as part of a broader, healthy routine, a small serving of fresh or frozen berries, eaten plain or with a small amount of plain yogurt roughly 30 to 60 minutes before bed, is a gentle, low-sodium, moderate sugar option that many people find satisfying without feeling like a compromise. It's not a dramatic overhaul. It's a small, sustainable swap, especially if it's replacing something saltier or sweeter that you might have been reaching for out of habit rather than true hunger. Of course, if you have an existing kidney condition, particularly if you're already managing chronic kidney disease or you're on dialysis, potassium and fluid recommendations can vary quite a bit from person to person. In those cases, it's especially important to check with your doctor or a renal dietitian before making changes to your fruit intake, since individual needs can differ significantly based on your specific stage of kidney function and any other health conditions you're managing. What works well as a general guideline for most adults isn't automatically the right fit for every single person, and that's not us being overly cautious. That's simply respecting how individualized kidney care really is. Let's take a moment to recap everything we've covered because there's been a lot of useful information here. Your kidneys work quietly in the background every single day, and their function can naturally shift as you age, often without obvious symptoms early on. What and when you eat, especially in the evening, can influence how much extra strain your body deals with overnight. Berries, particularly blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries, tend to be a gentler, lower potassium fruit option compared to some other fruits, while also offering antioxidants that may support overall cellular health, including in the kidneys. Portion size and toppings matter just as much as the fruit choice itself, so keeping servings moderate and toppings simple helps preserve the benefit. And finally, no single food replaces the fundamentals of hydration, blood pressure management, blood sugar control, and regular checkups with your doctor, especially if you already have a diagnosed kidney condition. If there's one thing we hope you take away from this video, it's that healthy aging often comes down to small, consistent choices rather than dramatic changes. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Sometimes it really can be as simple as swapping one late-night snack for another, more thoughtful option, and paying a little more attention to how your body responds over time. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear from you. If you tried swapping your usual evening snack for something like berries, or if you already do something similar, let us know in the comments. We're also curious, how old are you and where are you watching from tonight? Our community here spans so many different countries and backgrounds, and it's always encouraging to see just how many people are taking small, thoughtful steps toward better health, no matter their age. And if any part of this video surprised you, tell us which part stood out the most. If you found this helpful, consider sharing it with a friend or family member who might benefit from it too. And if you'd like more videos like this one covering practical, doctor-informed health habits for healthy aging, consider subscribing so you don't miss what's coming next. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.